Hi everyone, this is Spin, and I'm going to do a review of Doomsday Kingdom, issues 1 and 2. First, I would like to give a big shout out to the Map family and our hero, Ronnie Hayes. Ronnie, I selected this photo because you're waving hi back at me. Maybe not the best photo, but I had to use it because if you look carefully, you can see Tasty Path 607 is telling you, love you, bro, no homo. I'm still trying to figure out what that means. Anyway, so back onto the issues. We have the feeding post and we have fireworks and fevers. We don't have the bloodbath next, but we know that that's coming up next. I would like to, I'm not going to just go through the issues straight through. I'm not going to try to give away too much, although I'm going to give away a little. I'd like to start with the most important thing, I think, that is, who are you? And the reason I think that's pretty important is because the story starts with who are you. Ronnie made it a point to have a little teaser about who are you. And we all can figure out that there's a lot more to who are you than meets the eye. Even though the unknown man says to the writer, what kind of a person are you? Are you good? Are you bad? Are you, do you still have any humanity left in you? And will you make a really good ally? I think that's the bottom line. Will you make a good ally? He thinks who are you is important, I would think, because in the second issue, he starts right out with that again. Who are you? And it's Tristan's sister who's saying that, and she's like, I don't recognize you. Who are you? So, and that may be in a different context, but it's obviously pretty important to establish who he is. I think his development, Tristan's development over the course of the comics will be a very interesting journey, and we will find out, what shapes him as we go through. It's even so important that at the end of the feeding post, he says it to him again at the end. So who are you? I need allies. What kind of person are you? What's happened to you? What's your story? Okay, so I just thought who are you was pretty important. I wanted to mention that. Then I was going to go into the masks that we see all throughout issue 1. I was watching James' live stream, which inspired me to redo this video. And I found out, I think, that the masks don't mean that much. But I wanted you to know I observed that there were masks. The writer has on a mask. The doctor is wearing a mask, even though it's a doctor's mask. Then there's a gang of guys with their skeleton masks. We've got that guard back there with his mask on, and then we've got the unknown man with the mask. I was thinking possibly they needed masks, but now I guess, they don't really. The prisoner even has a mask, if you think about it. He has a hood over his head, so he's in a mask. So maybe it's not that they need them. Maybe it's just that we're keeping things under wraps for the first issue. We don't want to reveal very much, and we are in the future, so we're just going to ride it out until we can get to that point again and find out more. Then I have my favorite panels. I wanted to share with you some of my favorite panels. We have the prisoner falling. He's hooded. He has mud. He has something around his shoe. He's got the rope. The writer's dragging him along. I just found this to be a nice action panel, and as well as the panel that we'll go into where the writer is slicing off a head and shooting someone else through the head, or a creep through the head, and you can see the gun. I think that's just amazing and well done by James, and so I wanted to give kudos for that. Then we've got, in the second issue, I really loved the death scene, and I hate to put it that way, but the poor little thing, died. I love the way that Tristan is holding her. You can just picture him rocking back and forth and saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. It's just something that really we can all relate to. Something's happened in your life where you just couldn't do anything and you just were like saying the same thing over and over again. Then finally, my most favorite panel of all. We have Tristan looking in the rearview mirror after the cops at the hospital told him his son died, and Tristan's trying to get the hell out of there, but we can see his eye. It's practically tearing up. We've got this blood red scene and chaos going on behind, and that police officer shoots himself, and I just think that's so intense. That is my favorite panel. Thank you, James, for that panel. Look at that color and everything. So I want to point out, and some more action. There's tons of action going on. The first issue is all fighting and action. We can see it throughout, so there's not a lot to point out there. But as we go into the second issue, we've got, a lot of escalation with, like, the cop car going by, almost running Tristan down. And we saw the scene at the hospital where, the cops being threatened by all of the crowd, really, but, they're giving out claim checks for your loved one. So that was a big deal. And I just like how that was building and building and building to let us know what we're dealing with. I also love the hospital scene because it's a real place, and I went and looked this up. And if you look here, you can see what a great job that James has done on this. I mean, there probably are other places throughout that Ronnie has, told him, model it after this, model it after that. But look at these. Look at how these are. Look at what a great job he's done. Here they are side by side. Just thought the authenticity here was really great. And at the end here, we have some trivia, Easter eggs and hints or foreshadowing and, cliffhanger of sorts, all these different things going on. First, we have the grave site that's important to the unknown man and the grave site that's important to Tristan. And I just found that to be interesting that both of those were in the first issue. We had a foreshadow by Julie. Right behind her at the daycare is a little skeleton in a bed. So I thought that was an interesting little tidbit. We, of course, have all the map hashtag appearances and whatnot throughout, at least a few that you can find in the issues. And then, we have this bar scene, and maybe someone can tell me. I don't really understand it. Is that a drug deal? Because I'm very innocent and naive. Yes, I am. And then we get to the last issue. The last photo here is the cliffhanger. What's going on here? This creep, or partial creep, has already been chowing down on someone in this apartment complex. And it was mentioned that we're going to have stages of death or stages of becoming creeps. So I was just, really interested in the fact that he's still talking. He's saying, help me. But at the same time, he's obviously ready to attack. So I don't know how quick these stages are that we go through. But, I guess we're going to find that out. It's just interesting. These are some of the things I found really cool, and I wanted to point out. We've got, here's a little thing I wanted to throw in. We've got a lovely Ronnie and Juliet Last of Us picture. This is super cool, guys, and he had this in the notes at the back of the issue. So if you haven't seen it, check it out. But how cool is that? And finally, you guys should all go to, if you haven't already, go to doomsdaykingdom.com. You need to get you a digital copy or also get hard copies, because this is going to be well worth it. And Ronnie has been showing us already by the way he analyzes The Walking Dead that he's very capable of putting together a story that's going to hold our attention, and it's going to have continuity. It's not going to have some of those flaws that we see on our favorite program that brought us here to begin with. And that's it, guys. So everyone have a nice night or day, whatever it is for you when you're watching. Leave me some comments. I don't mind full-on criticism. I haven't done any of this before. So that's it for now, and Can't wait to see everyone on the next live stream.